Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show. So excited to have Ian Robinson with me today here at the Kim Jacobs Show studio. How are
Yes.
you?
Oh, fine, thank you. Fine, thank you. How are you doing? I'm very
I'm
good.
doing great.
Excited.
I'm excited as well.
Yes.
Looking forward to our topic today. Listen, everybody, grab your virtual seats and let everyone know that the Kim Jacobs Show is here on the air, and tell everybody to come be a part of today's broadcast. We're talking today about how to have better systems in our inner school systems. So it's very important that everyone tune in and chime in, share your thoughts, tag your friends, and invite them to be a part of today's discussion. All right, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started now, and we'll be right back. I'm excited about this, Ian. I can't wait because
Yes,
I
I
grew
am.
up in the inner city, so I
Yes.
cannot wait for us to talk about this. All right, let's get started now. Hi, I'm Kim Jacobs, the Balance Doctor. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to the Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real, relevant, and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time.
Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
All right, everyone. Yes, it's the Kim Jacobs Show. And we have Ian Robinson here. He is a husband,
Yes.
father, writer, illustrator, strong advocate for dynamic early childhood education, specifically focusing on young African-American children. He also has created novel educational products such as the Fractions Map and 55 fun and effective working memory activities.
Yes.
I need that for my children. I can tell
Yes.
you that already. So you'll be
Be
telling us
released.
how we can get that, right?
Exactly. To be released soon.
Okay.
Mhm.
He believes that young people are smarter than we think and are capable of learning more than the school curriculum prescribes. Welcome, Ian H. Robinson, to the Kim Jacobs.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Thank you. So tell
Yes.
us, where's that accent from?
Well, I was born and raised in Jamaica. Came to the United States at the age of 18 years old. Yeah, that was in 1998, I believe, 1997, I think. Yeah.
Wow, what brought you here to the United States?
Well, my mother was living here, and I graduated high school. And after high school, my mom wanted me to go to college in America. So here I am.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So do you have other family that's come over too from Jamaica, or
Well,
just you and your mom?
it's mainly, well, chiefly me and my mom right in New Jersey here, but I have relatives that scattered all over, scattered New York City, Washington, D.C., Florida. No
Oh,
other
good.
relatives in New Jersey though, just New York, the closest.
All right.
Yeah.
So what made you interested in early childhood education? Tell us about your childhood growing up in Jamaica and then transitioning here. Even we'd like to know a little bit more about that. And then what even made you so interested in early childhood education in particular?
That's a very good question. So growing up in Jamaica, I went to a private school, St. Teresa's Prep School. I hope some of my friends from St. Teresa's probably watching or something. I hope so. And that
Come
was
on, friends.
yeah, that was an amazing school. It was a very good experience. A lot of exposure. It was a Catholic school. A lot of exposure to a lot of things before the time, so to speak. So it was a very good experience. High school was amazing. So school overall in Jamaica for me was very good. I really enjoyed it, and I have nothing negative to say. It was just a very good experience. However, I just wish we had more hands-on experience with certain things, because I did the sciences in high school, and I think if we had gotten more hands-on with physical things instead of a heavy amount of theory, but also balanced with the practical, just that was the only thing that was needed in high school. More
Wow.
practical. Mhm.
Okay. And so you felt like maybe because of the fact that you wanted more hands-on experience, is that something you created through your projects?
Exactly. That's a part of the motivation behind what I do and what I aspire towards. More hands-on. Because again, some children learn well through theories,
Right.
and other kids learn well from the practical standpoint. And And I think the practical standpoint really cements it and really lets it soak in, the education soak in better. I think it's just like Bloom's taxonomy. I don't know if you've ever heard of Bloom's taxonomy.
No,
So,
I mean, I've heard of so many things.
well, I'll tell you,
With 5 children, I'm sure I've heard of it all, but I just may not know the term.
yeah, well, I'll tell you about it. So, Benjamin Bloom is an educational psychologist.
Yes.
Okay,
now I know.
Benjamin
You
Bloom.
gotta break it down to me in like that basic 5-year-old capacity. Go ahead.
So he's an educational psychologist, right?
Right.
And he came up with a principle or an educational theory in which kids learn better, so to speak. So imagine a pyramid, right? Imagine a pyramid, and the pyramid is stratified into 6 layers. So at the bottom layer, you have memory. Pretty straightforward. Next layer up, you have understanding. The next layer up, you have application, which means you're applying the knowledge that you've memorized and that you understand, you're applying it. The next layer up is analysis. You're analyzing the information, you're breaking it down, you're chopping it into bits and pieces. And the next layer up is what's the next
Here,
layer?
I have it here. I'm gonna pull it up.
The last one is synthesis, basically.
Yeah, let me pull it up right quick because I did go to it so I can see it as well.
Exactly.
Hold on. Benjamin Bloom Educational Learning Theories. We're getting this from Benjamin Bloom's Educational Learning Theories. All right, so go ahead.
So we have knowledge at the bottom, which is the memory. We have understanding, application, applying the knowledge, analyzing the knowledge, evaluating the knowledge, which is a higher level of cognitive processing with information, right?
Right, and that's this old version.
Exactly. And then at the top, we have creation or synthesis, where the child gets the information, he takes all that information, and he can create something out of it. Create something useful. He creates more information from it or anything else, or just creation, basically. So this thing that you have here, it shows the 6 levels of learning. And that's vital. That's very important. So I believe, again, for me personally, growing up, a lot of our time was spent on the lower level, so to speak.
Just the knowledge.
The knowledge base, the knowledge hardcore base, and then you have the understanding and somewhat applying. But to get to the synthesis level, that's another thing. And this is the thing that I strongly believe in. When it comes down to education, we need to apply more of the evaluation and the synthesis level in the education.
One thing I see on here too that really stands out that I like in the old version is saying, according to what this model of Bloom's theory here is saying, knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and then evaluation as the old version. Their newer version is remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and then creating is at the top of the pyramid.
Yes.
What do you, because it sounds like you're merging the two. Is that what's happening?
I'm basically merging the two, the old and the new. I put it together because pretty much knowledge and memory is pretty much the same thing. And the creation on the top is pretty much just a change of words, a change in wording. Good. You know, so I think children need to be more creative in the school setting. And that's when you really know that a child has grasped the information fully. When you see that a child can take the information and create something out of it and make something useful out of it and not just memorize the information.
Right.
Exactly. That's kind of shallow. And memory is kind of dodgy because sometimes you can forget something. But if you've used the information to create something, you never forget that. So that's something that should be applied more in the educational setting.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Listen, we're talking with Ian H. Robinson. His website is Tell everybody how they can stay connected here.
It's www.byianhrobinson.com.
Oh, by Ian H.
Yes, exactly.
Robinson. Okay, by IanHRobinson.com. And he also has his LinkedIn is Ian Robinson. That's IAN Robinson for those that are the podcast listeners as well. Yes. Excellent. So already we're in some, I think, in-depth discussion pertaining to the theory that you have, and I'm loving it. I
Yes.
do also want to know your thoughts on school aptitude testing, and everyone in the studio audience chime in if you have specific questions. Go ahead and type your questions. Also, just use this link right here if you want to come onto the screen with Ian and have a face-to-face discussion. Let's see. Some of the studio audience members are chiming in. They're saying, "Hey, I'm here. Hey, Allison, thank you so much for being here. Great
Yes.
topic. Okay. I'm here, Kim Jacobs. Thank you so much, Allison, for being here. We need more shows of the positive vibes from fathers in our diaspora. Yes,
Diaspora.
we can
Yeah.
definitely. You know, Allison, you can help me come up with a lot of great shows, and you've been inviting some great guests. Didn't she refer you?
Yeah, she did.
Come on, Allison. You can make this happen, huh? You
Thank
already
you.
have one right here, a father. Nothing like yard. My husband is from Morant Bay.
Morant Bay. Yeah.
Excellent. Greetings from Vaughn. Very often our children aren't exposed to the expanse of practical learning as well as theoretical learning. These are just some great comments, not just recitation work. This is good. Okay. All right. Keep your comments coming in, and also let us know where you're visiting in from today in the virtual studio audience, and we'll give you a shout out. So, Ian, what's your thoughts on aptitude testing?
Aptitude testing. Now that's funny. Well, we do need to know skills level. If you're saying just plain aptitude, we do need to know skills level. That's important to know where kids land and so on and so forth. That's good.
Right.
But I think standardized testing is another thing. Standardized testing, it's kind of different from aptitude testing. Aptitude testing gives the teachers the opportunity to know where the child lands, what the child knows, what they're capable of doing, and so on and so forth, and what they don't know. So the teacher can assess and the teacher can teach from that standpoint.
Right.
However, with traditional standardized testing, that's a problem. That's a problem in the fact where it becomes high pressure for the teachers to teach to the test. And if a teacher has to teach to the test, then sometimes, in most cases actually, it only lands at the memory level, where the child only gets information to memorize for the purpose of taking the test. And I think that's an incomplete model.
Okay.
So that's my problem really with the aptitude is great. We need to know where the child lands. Standardized tests, problematic, puts teachers under pressure, and it misses the mark.
I love it completely. I think I actually agree with you. Now, again, the views expressed are the views of my guests. If I agree personally, I'm going to share that, obviously. Yes. And that's just my view personally as Kim Jacobs, not the views of the show per se.
Yes.
But Ian, I agree with you wholeheartedly, especially having extremely intelligent children and seeing the stress that comes with preparing for a standard aptitude test. I'm like, what? I mean, it's one thing, like you say, to assess the child, to find out where they are and where they need to have some level of focus, more attention given in that area. But it's another thing to say that this dictates a lot of your future or where you'll be placed in society. That is unacceptable.
Exactly. It's almost like the creation of a new caste system.
Right.
You know, it's the creation of a new caste system, a new way to have biases and a new way to stratify people into subgroups. And that's problematic. I think that's a problem. And I remember in 2009, there's a test called the Pearson Park test that was before it came into existence, so to speak. In 2009, I remember I was reading a Star Ledger article, and parents throughout New Jersey was losing their minds, were protesting. They don't want their kids to take the park test. They don't want their children to take this test because they believe that the information will be used against them in the future.
Right.
Exactly. So children are growing. A child might be a D student today and he might become the president tomorrow.
That's right. You never know, because
exactly.
we develop, our minds develop every day, and we learn new things and new words of wisdom, new ways to apply things that we didn't know when we were younger. I see someone backstage. Is it okay to pull you in? Give me a thumbs up if it's okay.
All right.
All right. Hold on. Let's see who your guest is that's popping in to have a head-to-head discussion with you. Okay. All right. Hello, Allison.
Hi. Hi, Ian. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you,
Allison? And
I'm in New Jersey. I'm in New Jersey, and I'm really excited to have your guest join us today. I want him to talk a little about his incentive in the books that he's written geared towards our children, especially the book about STEM for our children and our girls, because those are areas that we are not pushed in, as he mentioned before. There's a whole lot that's lacking. And in Black and Brown communities, we're not seen as viable in those arenas. So I want him to talk about them because I've bought quite a few copies of the books, especially the STEM books for my granddaughters, so that they become a bit more acclimated and less afraid of the STEM studies.
Yes.
That's good. And your website is ianrobinson.com, or I am Ian Robinson?
By ianhrobinson.com.
Ian H. Robinson, because I want to pull that up too. Ian H. Yes. But go ahead, start talking about it, and I'm going to pull this up as well.
Actually, thank you for mentioning the book, Mesquite. So I have the book right here. It's called. I hope it's clear enough for everyone to see. It's called I Love STEM and You Should Too. And on the front, we have some children. We have Black kids, we have white kids, we have a mixture of kids, boys and girls. Now, the thing that inspired me to do this book was I was reading an article once, and it was speaking about the same thing Mesquite was saying. The levels of Black kids, and especially Black girls who study STEM, which basically means science, technology, engineering, and math.
Hold it up again.
Yeah, it's right here. STEM. I love STEM and you should too.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay.
My granddaughter loves it.
Excellent. I love STEM and you should too.
Yes. So again, it's about science, technology, engineering, and math, and inspiring particularly Black girls, little Black girls, to get in the STEM field. It's almost like demystifying something that they don't really know about. So that's a vital thing. So I try to make it as very poetic and funny and colorful as possible to make sure it's a hit with the kids and it's a hit with the parents. And so far, I've gotten nothing but amazing feedback.
I love it. And then let me just go. Let me take everyone to your website right quick. Hold on, because this is incredible. And we'll put this right in the link as well for everybody to go directly to buy iamrobinson.com. Wait a minute. Let's see. By ianhrobinson.com. By ianhrobinson.com. Look at this. Hi, I'm Ian. I write and illustrate children's books. I also create educational products. Thank you so much for visiting. So when you go to his site, by ianrobinson.com, BYIANHRobinson.com. We'll put it right in the comment section. You'll see the different books that's available. Tell us about each of these.
Okay, so again, the first one, I Love STEM and You Should Too, all about inspiring little Black girls to get into STEM field. And by the way, the little girl on the front, the one in the center, that's my daughter. She inspired that one, and I named the character after her. That's Raina. Shout out to my little princess. And that's all about inspiring the little girls. Then Little Brother Makes a Mess. That one was inspired by my two sons, because my little 4-year-old, he's always going in his big brother's room and tearing up his stuff, throwing his stuff all over the place. So that one inspired it. Little Brother Makes a Mess. And it's more on the emotional level of older sibling and younger sibling finally coming to an agreement. So that's what that one focuses on, the emotional and the sibling connection, so to speak. Now, the other book right here is from my baby boy, my 4-year-old. He's obsessed with his blanket. His name is Raphael. He's obsessed with his blanket. So it's called Where Is My Blanket? And he's pretty much traveling. He wakes up, he can't find his blanket. He's pretty much traveling all over the world to different biomes, different environments, like a desert, a tundra, a jungle. So it's a funny little story, but at the same time, it's teaching kids about the different environments and the different biomes and the different types of animals that live in these biomes. So each book has a point and a meaning. Apart from being fun, it has something educational to it as well.
That is awesome.
I've bought all of his books because I find that they're appropriate for our grandchildren and their different ages, and they all like them when they come over. Those are the books that they're pulling out to read to us.
Wow, I love these. And then I see blog posts as well. Yeah. So talk about that.
The blog post. I have one here. Says, let me see the title again.
Let's go to these blog post titles. One says, how does the world benefit from more girls getting into it.
into STEM.
Into STEM. Okay.
So it's basically again talking about how the world can benefit from having more girls in the STEM field. And it's simple. Girls they have a brain too. They're smart. They can create. They can innovate. So if half the population feels as if they can't get into a particular field, then that's half the potential brain power that is gone. So again, that's the reason why I did this one. So if little girls get inspired to get into STEM, then that means more innovation. On top of what the males are doing, that's more innovation, more science, more creation, more creativity, more discoveries, and so on and so forth. So that's how the world benefits from having more girls into STEM. It's just more brain power.
Excellent.
From a different dimension, different direction.
Excellent question, Allison Ski. Thank you so much for popping in to ask your question. Do you have any other questions?
No, I just wanted him to know he's got my support, and I've shared about him with so many of my friends and our for our grandkids. So I'm really excited that he's on here today.
Awesome. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
Come back in anytime. This is what it looks like, guys. Have a great one, Allison.
You too.
And keep commenting in the studio audience too. All right.
Yes.
All right, listen, that's exactly what, if you click on the link, you get the opportunity to be brought right into the studio. That's what it looks like, guys. I'll see you backstage, pull you in. You get a chance to ask your question directly to our studio audience guest that's here today. And we get an opportunity to hear his answer directly. But some people prefer, hey, just let me type my questions, and that's fine too. But let's do this. Let's hashtag by Ian H. Robinson, and let's get that trending today. By Ian H. Robinson. I see people definitely hashtagging it. So throughout today's broadcast, make sure you hashtag by Ian H. Robinson, and I'll pop your comment on. All right. So Ian, today we're going to be talking more with you about, everything that's passionate pertaining to this whole area that you're focusing on. So get some more of your thoughts together. Like, what are your overall thoughts about early childhood education and the inner city in particular, the inner city school systems? That's a question that I'd like for you to be able to address when we come right back after this commercial break. Is that okay?
Yes, perfect.
All right. You having a good time so far on the Kim Jacobs?
I am. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it.
All right. Listen, everyone, today's episode is sponsored by Snow Legal Group. Snow Legal Group, they're in the Charlotte and the Richmond, Virginia area. And they're in the Charlotte and the South Carolina area, because attorney Kenneth D. Snow actually was raised in the South Carolina area and didn't want to leave his home roots. So he opened up an opportunity to cover the South Carolina and the North Carolina areas with his practice. Listen, his phone number is 704-358-0026, 704-358-0026. His email is info@snowlegalgroup.com, info@snowlegal.com. They are the Snow Legal Group. And if you have anything that you're dealing with, accident, workers' comp, any kind, he even talked about bicycle accidents when he came on recently and did an actual segment where we had a legal moment with attorney Kenneth D. Snow. And so there are some different things that you may not even know. If you need that type of attorney, reach out to them and let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way, and they will give you a free consultation. That's huge. Not every office gives you a free consultation, but you can get a free consultation at the Snow Legal Group. Let them know Kim Jacobs referred you. And here's more about them now.
I'm attorney Kenneth D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or rideshare, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
All right, everyone. We are talking with Ian H. Robinson today, and just hearing his thoughts as an author, as a father, as a writer, an illustrator, because he's illustrated these great children's books about early childhood education and the inner school systems. Tell us your thoughts, Ian.
Well, as far as the inner city is concerned, I think that more can be done as far as early childhood education is concerned. Because again, as you said earlier, children can learn a whole lot faster than we think, and they can learn a whole lot more than we think. So we usually approach young children with a cookie cutter, one size fits all type of mentality. When there are kids, there are kids who can learn at such an astronomical pace. It's amazing. Remember, they're young. Their brains can soak up anything. So if you have these kids moving at a snail's pace, when really they're capable of moving at lightning speed, why keep them at the snail's pace when they can move fast and learn a whole lot in a short space of time? Because that's what kids do. They're all about learning, growing and learning. They love to grow and they love to learn. That's the thing about children. That's what childhood is all about, learning and growing. So I think we are falling short. The system is falling short of that. And I think the system has created this model, the one size fits all model, right? First of all, it's one size fits all, but it really came from a very, I should call it a place of scarcity, so to speak, because honestly, the history of the public schools, right? Public schools are started by Horace Mann in United States of America.
Right.
And I think 1837, actually, the public schools came to be in America by Congress member Horace Mann. But the thing is, when Horace Mann was trying to figure out how to create the public schools in America, he went to Prussia, which was now known as Germany, right? He went to Prussia to study the Prussian system. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Prussian system. Yes? So the Prussian system came to being after France and Germany entangled in a battle. France defeated Germany. The Germans were upset, or the Prussians were upset. So they said, we have to create something to make better soldiers, because our soldiers are quitting on the battlefield. They're running away. They're not nationalistic enough. They're not smart enough. So let's create a school system to train children to become better soldiers.
Wow.
Regimented seating arrangements and regimented setup. And not only were they trying to train soldiers, remember, this was about the Industrial Revolution was gaining pace at this time. So basically, it's all about training soldiers and training people to be factory workers, so to speak, to work in factories and to build weapons and to build machinery.
Well, I'm going to go to a couple of the images, because keep talking, but these images are profound when you just search them. I searched them right on Google. So, but look at these images. I mean, they're like very structured and very, stoic.
Rigid, and strict.
Very strict. So
it's all about training a younger generation to become better soldiers in order so that Prussia won't be defeated. So this is why a lot of times people say why Germany became a powerhouse as far as economics and manufacturing and as far as military. So the American Horace Mann, he saw this system and he loved this system, because remember, America was a kind of a fledgling nation at that time. It wasn't really a powerhouse yet. Right. So he said, let's take the Prussian system, bring it to America, create the public school system, and we're going to train our children in the same manner, more militaristic, in a rigid classroom setting, all about training them to work in factories, to be manufacturers. Now, remember, this system started 1830s, 1837, something like that. This system started back in the 18 something, and we're still using the same education system right now, so to speak, really, even though every now and then you might see new models come here and there. But the American public school system was based on the Prussian system, which was all about preparing the people to fight wars and preparing the people to work in factories. And we're using the same system in today's generation, which doesn't make sense to me, because that's kind of antiquated, so to speak.
Right. So they actually extended, according to Allison, extended the school year as well, is what she wanted to make note of.
Okay.
And also, if you could just sit back a little bit on the camera, because it's cutting the top of your head off.
Cutting the top off. Okay, let me sit back. I'm excited.
Shannon, who's backstage, she keeps typing that. She's like, it's cutting his head off. I'm like, I'm okay. I'm trying to wait to the right time, Shannon. She's like, Kim, you only have one job. Host the guest and let the guest have his best possible look. And so
yes, indeed.
Typing all of this stuff in the comments.
I'll fix my tie for that.
Is that okay, Shannon? All right. All right. I really would love to just pop you on the screen sometime, Shannon, because you give me a lot of business backstage. Okay, listen. Allison said, children are also sponges, eager to learn, and they should be encouraged on their journey. This is a good comment. Very good. Yeah. Tell us also, you're a father, and
Yes.
you talked about how your children inspired some of your books and the illustrations. Talk to us about fatherhood.
Oh, fatherhood is fun. It's I can't put it into words. I can't put honestly, this might sound a little I don't know the right word to use. Might sound a little crazy or something, but I feel as if my kids have been here with me my whole life. You understand? I can't, like, it's almost as if I can't really remember my life without them. They've always been a part of me.
I
That's
know.
just how I feel. And
That's
they're
how I
my
feel as a mother.
exactly. They're my life. They're my life. They are the future me for the future, for the upcoming generation, so to speak. That's so they're everything to me, really. You know, and I'm also thankful that I have a great wife as well to help me raise these kids. That's vital. Cannot forget that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you know what, when you say they are your life, that just kind of just resonated in my spirit, because for us to have the opportunity to mold and to shape a life, to help them become everything that God creates them to be, is just it's an honor. It's an
exactly.
honor. And how can it ever be taken lightly? Like, just like, oh well, I'll deal with my kids if I want to, I won't if I don't want to. Who?
Yeah.
What? Do you know how much of a precious gold piece of jewel and treasure and just
Yeah.
everything wrapped into one, that God would allow you to be able to help to shape that individual. So
Exactly.
what an honor it is. And I'm really honored to hear you say that as a father
Yeah.
to those that are watching today. Wow.
And
Yeah.
they help you to grow up as well. Because I think if I didn't have kids, I would be immature. I'd still be immature, being silly, doing dumb stuff. But when you have kids, you have to grow up because you have to make an example. You have to make an example for
Awesome.
them.
And
That's
and
why.
your wife, tell us, and I don't have a picture of your wife. I gotta find a picture of your wife here. Now, this is crazy. I always have pictures here. So now I feel like, okay, talk to us about your wife, and let me see if I can find something here.
Oh, about my wife. What can I say? Very supportive, very encouraging. My wife is amazing. That's all I can say. She's a dream.
Aww.
She's a dream. It's you know, sometimes when you're as a young man, right? You see a female, you get rejected. You see a female, you get rejected. Young men are young women. And
Right.
you end up with a partner who you end up with a person who you kind of settled for, so to speak.
Right.
You didn't get the best person you wanted. I think my wife was the best person I ever wanted, and I
Please let me find a picture.
yeah,
Where the-
and yeah, so she's mine.
Okay, are any of the pictures on your Facebook page?
There should be a picture there I posted. My wife and my daughter together. There are other pictures, but you have to search through folders and all that stuff.
Oh, come on, Ian. I need Ian's photos right here. This is what I'm looking for. I'm gonna find a photo here before we carry on with the rest of this broadcast.
A photo
No,
of my
no,
wife.
no.
You'll see one of my late, maybe like 2 days ago. I made a post 2 days ago with
Oh,
my.
I see one. Okay, I gotta show this. I'm so
Mhm.
glad I'm looking. Okay, hold on, everybody. Here you are. You have Ian and his daughter here. Beautiful photo. I think this is your wife. Is that?
Yeah, there you go. My wife and daughter. That's it.
And look how delicate. You can tell she's a great mom, and she's so caring. Even in a photo,
Yeah.
she's just delicately handling her child.
Yeah, she's amazing. I'm blessed.
And what's her name again?
My wife's name is Claudia Robinson. Yep.
Claudia Robinson. So glad to have you on the Kim Jacobs Show virtually, even though you didn't know you were going to be on the Kim Jacobs Show. And who's this beautiful little princess here?
And that's Raina Robinson.
Raina. Oh, and she's so beautiful. All right, everybody. That's beautiful, beautiful family. Okay. So, wow. Today we're talking with Ian Robinson. Definitely go and check out his books by Ian H. Robinson. You always got to put that H in there or you won't get to the right site. By IanHRobinson.com. You can also follow him on LinkedIn at Ian Robinson. Does anyone have any questions? Because I'd like for you to be able to ask your questions. And Allison says she is brilliant, brainy, beautiful woman. And she's talking about Claudia.
Yep.
Excellent. Our children are our life source and our legacy. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, I agree. So what are some of the new reforms that can improve public school education in the inner cities from your perspective? And anybody else can chime in as well. These are just some questions anybody can answer.
Well, from my perspective, again, I think America and the political system has to understand and prioritize early childhood education. They have to understand that the children, I don't want to sound cliche, I don't want to repeat Whitney Houston's song, but the children are the future.
Our future, right.
Exactly. And if we don't prepare the future generation for the coming struggles, so to speak, or the coming difficulties and the coming demands of the future economy,
Right.
then what's going to happen to the country if the children are not prepared, if we don't give them all the skills? So I think that policy, the political policy should be changed to really put children in a priority. Early, young children in a spot of priority where if money has to be spent, then money has to be spent. Because truthfully, if you look at it, if there's a military threat, money is spent to prop up the military because the military protects the nation, right? The future generation of the kids who will be the future leaders, if they are compromised, what future does the country have? So investing in the children and the young kids particularly, it's self-preservation in the long run.
Correct.
So I think policy should reflect it. Now, in 2001, I believe, No Child Left Behind Act was signed into effect by President George Bush.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people have complained about that policy because they said it only dropped the standards, the educational standards, right? Now, if you have a child who is a gifted child, the standards are so low that your gifted child will be bored out to their wits in the classroom.
Right.
Because they're not stimulated enough, they're not being challenged enough. And why? Because policy was put into effect to lower the standards so that everyone can pass. Well, yes, we would love to see everyone pass indeed, but we have to also cater for the young children again who are exceptional, particularly the exceptional children. Because in some countries, they take these kids as priority because these kids will be the future leaders, the future presidents, prime ministers, the future engineers, scientists, and so on and so forth. So America needs to take the kids and early childhood education very seriously. And especially when it comes down to the inner city, because I think the inner cities have been neglected in many respects.
This is good. This is a really good discussion as far as I know when we're talking about America taking things seriously, that's one thing, but what can parents do ourselves to be able to take it seriously, even if no one else in America takes it seriously? What can we do as parents to ensure that our children don't get lost in the system, in the process, in the hustle and bustle and all of the different aptitude testing and different, what can we do as parents?
Okay, well, the first thing I think that can be done, which I have a number of friends who've complained about the same thing. And what they've done is they took their kids out of school and did homeschooling, right? That's one way. However,
so point number one is homeschooling is an option.
Homeschooling is an option
that Ian Robinson is sharing with us today here on the Kim Jacobs Show. We'll put these tips up here for you to be able to go back and later reference them. But homeschooling is an option, okay?
Homeschooling is an option. But you have families. Sometimes you might have a family that's a single parents. Then you might have a case where both parents have to go to work. So then homeschooling is not something for those people. Then you have charter schools, which help out a lot. But at the same time, charter schools, it's limited. Not too many people will get into charter schools because of how the entrance process works.
And different areas. I know some here, you have to do a lottery system.
Exactly.
And then if your child didn't get selected for that lottery draw, it's like, what? Put my child in that school that's right down the street from my house. And that makes sense.
Exactly.
For me to be able to have my child there, but that's not how it works,
It's a game of chance. It's not guaranteed that your child will make it into a charter school. So
and it's not based on who you know either, I don't think. Or maybe it is. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Well, they say it's a
lottery.
I
don't know the right people.
They say it's a lottery, but you can't trust the lottery because how many times have you won the lottery? Really?
I don't even play the lottery. So
Exactly.
the thing is, I would have to get a whole training and tutorial and everything, hold the line up, and it would be a mess. So I don't know anything.
So charter schools is one way that could help out. And like 25% of charter schools are outperforming regular public schools. So charter schools can work, but again, it's the limitation on how you would get in. It's not 100% guaranteed that your kid will make it into a charter school. Now you have private schools. Again, not everyone can afford private schools, right? Now, the most important thing that we can do as parents to keep our kids, especially if our kids are advanced, so to speak, to keep our kids going and not lost in the system, what we can do is to take the time out and put more time in the child's education, so to speak. Be present at the meetings, have demands on the principals, have demands on the teachers, express.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you for a second, only to laugh, because I'm that parent. I went back one time and I had sent a teacher, it was maybe 133 emails, and I counted. And I was like, you know what? I don't feel bad about it because I am my child's advocate.
Exactly.
And so if I don't advocate and speak up and say, here's what I suggest that we can do to make this scenario work with everything that my child has going on, then I've done my child a disservice.
Exactly.
And that does not even matter to me what the person on the other end feels about it. If you're saying that it's your job to also be caring for my child when my child is out of my presence, then we're going to be a team. So together, I'm a part of the school staff as far as I'm concerned when it comes to my own children.
Yes, indeed.
But I think sometimes it's like, are you that parent? Is anybody else in the studio audience? Are you those parents that would email, text, call, show up, go in, have your own parent-teacher conferences, or is it just me, the balanced doctor? Because I can show you all my emails. Y'all will be like, wow, Kim. And I'm not rude. I'm not disrespectful. I'm very respectful, especially when I know that they're going to be handling my children throughout some time of the day. But I will email, call, schedule meetings, schedule virtual conference, whatever it takes. And do you recommend that, Ian, or is it just?
I do recommend it. My wife is like that. That's one thing I love about her. I literally have to hold her back sometimes from harassing the teachers and so on and so forth. But that's what you're supposed to do as a parent. Again, you use the right word. Advocacy. You have to advocate for your children. If no one else does it, you have to be the one to do it. If you don't do it, no one else will do it. Because again, sometimes in the school setting, if some teachers or some administrators see a child who has no advocate, then sometimes that child, falls into the cracks. So we have to show up for our children and be demanding and put the pressure on people that we're not just going to accept the default setting, the basic levels, cookie cutter education. So imagine if there's a school and they're doing the basic stuff and the parents feel as if it's not enough to prepare their children for the future. If 50 of these parents come together or 100 of these parents come together,
that's right,
and make demands, then changes will be made. So I think as parents, especially in the inner cities, we have to take these things seriously and put the pressure on the councilman, the board of education, whoever it is. We have to put the pressure on these people. And we have to save the kids. Don't wait until the child is 18 years old to save the kid, be protesting in the street or something like that. But save the kids from their 3 years old, 2 years old, from their start pre-K, kindergarten. Start saving them from that period. So when it gets to age 18, you wouldn't have to worry about anything. I think it helps.
I do
to a great
too.
degree. Mm-hmm.
This is great advice. We're talking with Ian H. Robinson today and his thoughts on how we can improve our overall inner city school systems. And I'm enjoying our conversation quite a bit. And thank you all for all that are chiming in and sharing your thoughts. If you have any questions, we'll be back right after this commercial break, and you can ask your questions and we'll get them answered right from our expert, Ian H. Robinson. Today's episode is also sponsored by attorney Charles Everidge. They're with Hunter and Everidge Law Firm. They're in the Charlotte area and in the Richmond area. So if you have Social Security disability issues, or you're dealing with a wrongful death suit of a family member, or you're dealing with some type of workers' compensation case, definitely reach out to them as well. 704-377-9157. Again, that's 704-377-9157. You can also inbox them right on Facebook at Hunter and Everidge, and that's the and sign, Hunter and Everidge, and you can share your case with them there, and they will respond back to you. Let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show has sent you their way. And so far, people that have been sent over to either of my sponsors have had nothing but rave reviews. So I just want to say thank you to our sponsors here on the Kim Jacobs Show. We don't take it for granted, and we appreciate anyone that goes and supports their business as a result of them even being a sponsor here on the show. Let's learn more about Hunter Everidge Law Firm now.
When someone has lost a loved one, they want to know what exactly happened. They want to know, is the other person going to be held responsible? And they want closure. At Hunter and Everidge, we help clients that have lost a loved one move on, and to do that with dignity and respect that they deserve.
All right, everyone, we are back with Ian H. Robinson, and we're talking about how to improve our overall inner city schools. So if you all have any input, any thoughts or questions, feel free to ask them the questions now. And let's see. Hold teachers and schools accountable. Ask questions and be present with them is what Allison said. And she said, oh, yeah, they knew me for sure. She put a smiley face there. She said, yes, yes. Allison said, hey, please share this video. Fathers are involved in doing much more with their children than they get credit for. So if you're able to or willing to, go ahead and share the broadcast with your friends and your family, your coworkers. So even start a watch party later at a time that maybe once everyone gets off work and you're like, listen, people need to hear from this parent advocate, author, father, and also expert in the field of, and I say expert because I'm claiming you as an expert now, in the field of dealing with our inner city schools. All right. Any more thoughts that you have, Ian?
Well, again, one more thing to really help out with our children, to keep our children at a good pace, is we have to be very careful of what we expose the children to. Like as far as too much social media, too much TV. Well, kids don't really watch TV these days. It's mainly the social media, but too much junk material. We have to be careful, because once the wrong information gets in, that can spiral and cause a whole lot of negative things in our kids' minds. And we don't want that. So we want to expose them to good, fulfilling, enriching information, so to speak, and good materials. Whether it's, if it's the music you're playing in your car. Say, for example, sometimes I'm driving in the car and I stop at a light and someone pulls up next to me and the music is blasting and the music is pretty raunchy. But then when I look, there's a baby in the car. That's a problem. We can't have that, because the child is listening to that stuff and taking in that stuff. And again, remember,
that's right.
The brain is like a sponge for little kids. So they take in information so fast. So if they're hearing the raunchy lyrics and the raunchy words, so to speak, then they're learning the wrong thing. So we have to make sure always have age-appropriate music in our car, age-appropriate music in the house, educational-based stuff, because that works wonders. I've seen the wonders it works with my kids. Just listening to songs about multiplication and adding and stuff like that, it works wonders, because they retain all that information. You might not think they're retaining it, but they do retain it. So it
makes a huge difference. When my children were younger, we would play the same thing, just like the different songs about education. And I noticed that they would just be singing it, but then it would start clicking. And that's something that became a part of their lives. Reading. All of my children are avid readers.
Exactly.
And I've put them in reading competitions and different things that have just now, he's getting ready to turn 24 on June 9th, but my 23-year-old, he's an avid reader, but not just a reader. He's a strong business leader as well, as a result of all of the books and the competitions and the things he did growing up. So I do agree that reading is extremely important too.
Exactly. You know, as you said something about reading competitions. So I'm working on creating some, I should say, academic based competitions in Newark, because I live in Newark. So I'm doing some research to see how to create these things, because I don't think, like in my area, for example, there's a spelling bee. A Newark spelling bee would be amazing, I think.
I
Again,
think so.
we're giving kids and parents the incentive, the academic incentive to do more. So I'm thinking of science fairs, spelling bees,
I love it.
and so hopefully again, it's in the beginning phase. I don't want to divulge too much, but I'm trying to get these things in order. And I remember growing up in Jamaica, right? There was a yearly competition called the Schools Challenge Quiz. And with the Schools Challenge Quiz, it was high school versus high school. So it's like Jeopardy, but in teams.
I
So
love it. I
there'll be
love it.
exactly, there'll be 4 kids in a team, and they'll be answering these questions, coming different types of questions, history, science, whatever. And this is something that people go crazy for back home. I remember from ever since in the 80s when I was growing up to this
Right.
day, it's a big competition. Now, something like that, say for example, in Newark, or say in Detroit or some other big inner city area, that could transform, make a lot of positive transformation for as far as
Yeah.
kids wanting to express themselves academically. Because again, in some areas, when a kid is academically advanced, they start to feel like an outsider,
Right.
like an
Like
outcast.
there's something wrong with them. It's like, no,
Exactly.
everything's right. Keep going.
But if these kids now can see that, hey, we're not basketball stars, we're not the baseball stars, we're not the football stars, but we're the academic stars, we're the spelling bee stars, the science stars, we get some popularity. That's an incentive to push kids to not drop their academic power, so to speak.
Correct.
Not lose
Right.
it, but to maintain it, because hey, I get to be a star too. I might not be a jock, but I'm still popular in my school because I represented the school in this way and gave my school some notoriety. So these things are little things that we can do. Again, policymakers to parents can demand these things, and that's what we're working on. So keep my fingers crossed, all that come to fruition. So
Oh, I'm believing. I'm believing 100% it will. And please let us know how we can be a part of that journey to success, because I'm an advocate for young people. So please make sure you keep us posted as well.
Perfect.
And I will tell you that one example that I'll share with you, that my son, when he was younger, he was on the football team.
Yes.
And he's 6'4", so he had this long wingspan, and his arms could reach people before they would even ever get close enough to him. So every time at the football games, you would hear, and Frank Jacobs just made it, whatever it is that they were yelling his name about.
Yes.
But I don't know, whatever happened, and I won't divulge what happened, but it was something that happened on his team that he was like, that's not a teammate of mine that would do that to me. There's things like that. So he asked his mom, me, and his dad, he said, can I please get off the football team? And he said, I promise you, if I get off the football team, you guys will see academic success.
Wow.
At a different level. And he was maybe like a 3.0 student or whatever. When he got off the football team and really heavily focused on his education, he got a 4.6 GPA before he went into UNC Chapel Hill. So the thing is, you don't know what a child needs. So you have to hear your children, is my point. If your child is asking for something to be done, and no matter whether you think they're going to be this great superstar athlete or whatever the case may be, hear your children and understand that they also know what might be of interest to them and what can kick them into a different part of their life goals or whatever it is that's going to be happening with them,
Yes.
Yeah. And then even also growing up in the inner city myself, my mom, she put me in spelling bee competitions. I won the spelling bee, actually.
Wow.
And jump rope competitions. And I was in a young authors club with Beverly Cleary and Judy Bloom, and was a young author that wrote a book and got it. It was like published through them. I don't know what that book is. It's not like, it wasn't published like how today's books are, but it was just a conference that my material was selected to be read at that conference. I'm like, I need that book. That was an important book back in my childhood. Mom, do you know what that is? I don't know, but it's some good stuff that happens in our children's lives. My son, Jeremiah, he reads 15 pages of a motivational book every day now. And he's been doing that for 114 days.
How old is he?
He's 16. Every single day he reads a book, not a book, but 15 pages before midnight as a part of a challenge that he's been doing and creating. And
Yes.
so you just never know.
He's
And my daughter is writing
he's
a book
programming
right now.
himself.
Huh?
He's programming himself. That's good.
My daughter's writing a book right now. She's on chapter 13. I'm like, how many chapters is that book going to be? It's a fantasy novel. So
Wow.
you never know.
That's good. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking out for the name.
Yeah, you'll get it. I'm sure you'll get a copy of it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Studio audience comments. Please share this video. Okay, we talked about the positive fathers and one that we have here right now. Crystal said, so true. The mind absorbs it all. So important to guard the ear gate. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Do an educational Olympic competition.
There you go. That sounds nice.
That's good. So you can have the academic Olympics. Oh, and that right there from Ian H. Robinson and
That sounds big.
Allison Skeets.
I like that.
Connect with big companies, form strategic partnerships to benefit our kids. Nerds rock.
Exactly.
I love it. The Nerds Rock Olympics.
I'm getting ideas.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Allison.
Lovely.
Kids know themselves. Listen to them. Yes. Great comments, everybody. All right. Listen, also, I want to make sure that you know that we do encourage people to support the Kim Jacobs Show, and you can support through whatever means you choose is here and it's available for you through Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, or even becoming a Patreon member, whichever way works best for you. I do want to thank Allison Skeet. She's one of our Patreon members, and that's where you pay a monthly fee and you get access to backstage after party content that you don't get on the show. And I also thank June Griffith, who's one of our Venmo online financial contributors. I see her on here often as well. And Mr. Ware just did a contribution yesterday on our, what is it? Yeah, on our Cash App, Kim Jacobs Inc. So those are just a few people that's over this week that's been contributing. And I just want to say a quick shout out. All right, let's see. Hey, I'm late, but I'm here. That's Right Reasons. He said, but I'll rewatch. Right Reasons is a young man that I had on the show. You guys will be great to connect as well. So make sure you do that. His story is powerful as well. All right. Any other thoughts that you have?
Oh my gosh, I have so many thoughts. All I'm saying is, let's do it for the kids. Let's prepare them for the future. The future where AI will be running things and technology and all these things. We can't put our kids send them into the future in a basic manner. We have to give them the tools, and the best tools we can give them, cognitive tools, critical thinking skills, working memory skills, analytical skills, just thinking on a higher level. And this starts by getting them from a very young age and training them in that manner, so that they could meet the challenge of the future. So that's my general idea.
I love everything that you're sharing, everything. And it's so inspiring, and it's something that should be in every inner school system nationwide, not just inner city, but in every school. So I don't think, personally, I don't think it should just be that the information that you're sharing in the Olympics and the programs and the books should only have to focus just on African Americans, but it should focus on benefiting everyone.
Really. Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, a lot of African Americans are at a disadvantage in some of the school systems. And that's where you do need to have a niche market that you're focused on. So thank you for focusing in that area.
A little boost, so to speak. I need a boost.
Because you can never imagine the great people that come from the inner city school systems. I came from the public school, inner city school area, and I just thank God.
Yes.
The teachers that believed in me and the teachers that exposed me to things like a debutante ball. Miss Cynthia King exposed me to a debutante ball. I didn't know what a debutante was until I put this beautiful white dress on. So having teachers that may not even live in the inner city come in and work in that area and believe in you makes a huge difference. Having Ian Robinson believing in children that you may never ever know by name is just amazing. Your books are going to change so many lives, you know?
Amen. And again, I want to say thank you very much for bringing me on your show. The exposure is good. You're talking some important things. We're trying to change lives. And just want to say thank you very much. And thank Ms. Skeet also.
Thank you, Ian. And I really want you to come back. And I agree with you,
Yes,
Allison.
indeed.
I see your comment. You'll have to come back and tell us more, especially when you start releasing some of these materials and programs and projects, Olympics and different things. Please allow us the opportunity
Exactly.
to be a part of it.
I'm coming to your show first.
Oh, you heard it right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. And we're going to definitely, you don't know, Shambria, who is also on my team, she's going to get that little clip right there. If she don't get any other part, she's going to be like, I got it right there. He said he's coming back to the Kim Jacobs.
Exactly. Yes.
Because your stuff is going to be life-changing, and I'm excited about it. The books are already incredible. And everyone, make sure you get a copy of all of the materials that are written by Ian H. Robinson to inspire your young people. And even if you don't have young children anymore, buy some for some other young people that can benefit. I have nephews and nieces and people that would benefit that are still younger in their age. So I'll definitely be getting some copies myself and passing them to some of my own nieces and nephews. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I love it.
You're welcome. Allison said, continued success to you, Ian, and to Claudia as well. All right, everyone, listen, for the next few days up until June 1st, you can use the code 51 when you check out at kimjacobshow.com. We have merchandise available there for you, books and different things. You can use the code 51, Kim 51 with the number 51, Kim with the number 51 behind it at checkout, and you'll get a 10% discount. It's in honor of my birthday, actually.
Oh.
My birthday is on Monday, May 31st, and I won't be on the show that day, Monday or Tuesday, so you'll be able to click on and see a repeat show. But Monday and Tuesday, the 31st and the 1st, I won't be on here live.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm turning 51. I'm so excited. I don't take that lightly.
So you're on the last day of the month, and my daughter's on the first day of the month.
Oh, well, happy birthday to your precious princess. Beautiful, beautiful. Raina, right?
That's it.
Yes, Raina. Happy birthday to you on June 1st. And
no, May 1st. Your birthday was May 1st. May 1st.
Oh, May 1st. Okay.
May 1st. So you're in the same month.
Your birthday was May 1st, and you're a May baby as well. Happy birthday to you, Raina, and this whole month. And anybody else that's been celebrating a birthday during the month of May, happy birthday to you from the Kim Jacobs Show. We celebrate you this month. All right, everybody, let's see. Buy his books as gifts for kids in your community. And thank you so much, Allison. Happy birthday. Yeah, tomorrow on Freestyle Friday, we're going to have our experts, and then any birthday shout outs that you want to say, you can definitely send them my way on tomorrow for Freestyle Friday. We'll hear from our experts on our regular show, and then also say happy birthday if you want to me, even though I won't be on Monday or Tuesday of next week. All right, Ian, I am so honored to have had you on today. You know how you're on a show and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't say this one point.
Yeah.
What's that one point you want to say?
Oh my gosh, I have 100 points. I have 100 points. I have 100 points. I don't know. On the next show, when we reconvene, I'll have the points all laid out again. I have so many points. The time flew by so fast. It was like,
I told you, everybody's like, a whole hour. What am I going to say for an hour? This is going to be so long and drawn out. An hour goes like, and it's done.
Exactly. It's fun.
It was fun.
Yes, it was.
Good. I'm glad. Everybody, make sure you go visit byianhrobinson.com. Get those books.
Yes,
read
indeed.
his blog posts and stay connected with everything that's about to unfold in Ian H. Robinson's life. All right, everybody. So on that note, we're going to go ahead and end today's broadcast, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for Freestyle Friday. Tell your friends, yay, Ian. Oh, somebody said, Kay said, hey, Ian, yay, I believe in you.
Yes,
all
indeed.
right.
Thank you, Kay.
Yay, Kay, thank you. I almost didn't see that comment, and you'd be like, I know she saw that. I can't believe she didn't put my comment up there. I wouldn't have seen it. I'm so glad. All right, everybody. Listen, thank you for tuning in today. And we'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. If you haven't subscribed, go subscribe at our YouTube channel. Turn that notification bell to all, and you will be right here in the virtual studio audience when we go live Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much, Ian.
Thank you very much.
And stay backstage. I'll talk to you in a second, okay?
Yes, indeed.
All right. Have a great one, everybody. See you tomorrow. everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show.